Hello and welcome to your favorite podcast with your favorite Foxy Fail son, me, I'm Brian Fox. So, to start off for today, don't forget to follow the Fox's Corner on Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and don't forget to try out our new subreddit, our OK Buddy Bright Fox, all in the description below. And if you can, don't forget to view and maybe even tip our Patreon, because I am a broke boy. So, my apologies for the very fast introduction, but I'm very excited today to show you something that's just very uplifting. I remember these little, how do I say these? Furry-Problems. Now, Furry-Problems was, yes, the name of my ifunny when I was very young. I would say like 12. Actually, no, that's probably later, but I don't know, around that time. So, I decided, after looking through all the archives, I looked through ifunny very hard. I found some. And the reason why I couldn't find any is because the original blog, unfortunately, I believe they deactivated. So I couldn't find them. But now, sorry, I had to unplug. Now I can finally find them, so, I'm so happy. Now, there's a bunch of these, but I couldn't find all of them. I could only find, maybe, I don't know, the first 200-ish, with some in between. But, all in all, I did find some. So, we're going to start with this one, and we're just going to basically review all the ones I could find for these Furry-Problems. I loved these when I was young. I remember these from 2015, so basically the very early days of the fandom, I discovered these, and I found these so funny and relatable. Maybe not when I was that age, but definitely some right away, some as I got older, and some I'm still are still going over my head because I'm still pretty young. But let's just jump right into these. So first for 17, sorry, furball. For 17, I found this kind of funny, waiting for Jay Naylor to update Original Life. And actually, some context, I should say. The reason why the ifunny watermark is below all of these is because ifunny was basically the archive for these. Because the original Tumblr, I could not recover. I could not find them on Furfinity because I don't even know who the original creators were outside of the blog on Tumblr. If you go on Tumblr today, this is post-purge Tumblr, so it makes it even harder. But yeah, a lot of these were unfortunately removed, but I do believe a lot of these were from the ifunny account FurCulture, so shout out to them. Unfortunately, they have not been on ifunny for 2 years, but, I should give credit where it's due. I also give credit to the Furry-Problems Tumblr account. While not active, I will still give them credit. And let's go back to the fun. So Furry-Problem number 17, waiting for Jay Naylor to update Original Life. And I know Jay Naylor has evolved a lot as an artist over time, but I did still find Original Life very good. I do recall reading some of them, but I got bored just because, I was young and I was distracted by everything. But yeah, pretty good comic, would recommend. Furry-Problems 18. The smartasses in your family who tell them you cut. Okay, let's reread that. Furry-Problems 18. The smartasses in your family when you tell them you a furry. Okay. I've had a couple of people like this in my family. Yeah, it's not fun. They're basically the know-it-alls who think they know more than you. They do exist, but it's your truth. It's your experience, and they see it through an outsider's lenses, and that's why furries call them humans. Next, Furry-Problems number 23. The moment you tell someone you're... Great spelling. The moment you tell someone you're a furry and they get, oh dear God face, and they watched that episode of CSI. Yes. Yes, I did see that episode, and it was so dumb. I remember the plot. It was oh, you were in Vegas and you shot the guy, and then it's like, what was it like? Oh, you're free to go because you thought it was an animal, and I'm like, you don't imagine how many neon like animals exist in the desert, bro? Like, come on. Uh, Furry-Problems number 25. Not being able to find another straight fur. Yes, although I actually do know some. In fact, I believe I'm interviewing one very soon. I'm recording this a little ahead of time, so just a heads up. Yeah, not being able to find another straight fur. True, although I do know some. It can be tricky, though, depending the space. Furry-Problems number 29. Finding another fur at school without asking and making it awkward if they aren't. Yes, it's very awkward. Like, you want to ask, but it feels awkward because you don't want to be made fun of, so it just kind of ruins it. It's the struggle of school. Thankfully, college is a lot more accepting. Um, Furry-Problems number 31. Oh, by the way, some of these are commented by FurCulture. Just ignore them because I don't agree sometimes with the comments below. But Furry-Problems number 31. Having someone rant about how sparkle dogs in the fandom are special snowflakes. Now, this feels kind of old, and this kind of reminisces of like that 2015, 2014, like, the early peak Tumblr culture. And if you remember those SJW compilations of like 2015, 16, that's kind of what that reminisces of to me. Having someone, yeah, I don't really think that's even true at all, even at the time, but I guess this was like a really big deal back then. Furry-Problems number 28. When one friend accidentally finds out you're a furry one day, you make him swear not to tell anyone, and suddenly the rest of your friends magically know and look down on you. This actually happened to me a while back, like way a long time ago, when somebody just kind of outed me, like the middle of a friend group that was like full of normies. And from then on, I was just kind of a bit of a joke from then on, and that kind of did ruin it because I either had to embrace it or deny it, and they just kind of always saw you one way forever. But if I embrace the joke, I'm cringy, but if I don't embrace the joke, I'm still cringy. It really doesn't help. It's the struggle. But yes, way too true. Furry-Problems number 32. People who won't let you explain that it isn't bestiality. Yes, that is way too true. I think, yeah, that stereotype has existed since like the beginning of the fandom, and it's so annoying because I know it's not true. I know that some people have done things in the fandom, but we do try to out them as much as possible. I mean, the second I hear about it, like, not insta-block, like, you hear the sirens in the background and the red flashing lights, But yes, unfortunately, this is a daily problem if you're, like, always around normies. Oh, right. Furry-Problems number 33. People accusing you of stealing their art/persona because the base color is the same. Yes, I've seen this a lot, especially in my early days. Oh my goodness, people would always flip out over this. And I saw this the most with teenage furs because they were just kind of getting used to basic, very simple designs. And yes, it was a struggle. And I had the most basic Sona, and I never really had him drawn. In fact, I don't think I've even had him drawn now. But yes, people will always accuse you, especially if you have very basic designs. If you want to have something that differentiates them, I highly recommend it to avoid, like, dumb stuff like this. But yes, that is true. Furry-Problems number 34. When you feel like the only fur in school. This is true for me for most of my secondary education. And yes, it was not fun. Furry-Problems number 36. When you work with animals and know that if anyone found out about your furriness, your job would be in jeopardy because all the misconceptions about the fandom. Yes. I never volunteered at like animal shelters or anything, but yes, I'm pretty sure if they found out, they'd probably either question it, or if they're run by furries, they're like, oh cool, another one. Because I have met furries in like vet tech stuff before, or like animal shelters. They're usually pretty chill, by the way. I do have a lot of trust in furries when it comes to animals, because I do think they genuinely appreciate them for what they are, and I do think we're more conscious about them compared to normies. Furry-Problems, number 37. Having someone ask about your persona, and then they oversimplify it. Yes, if you have like a very in-depth persona, they're probably gonna give you the Spark Notes version of it. So don't take it too personally unless you're being malicious. Furry-Problems, number 38. Kids. I feel personally attacked by this. Furry-Problems, number 41. When local furs are uninterested in hanging out with you. Yes, this has happened to me multiple times. Hurts every time. But to be fair, I was cringier back then, so, I get it. They're also busy people. Furry-Problems, number 42. That moment when you say to your friends you're a furry and what? And then has no idea what furry is. Okay. That's happened to me a few times, and I hate when people will try to make you look like the worst person ever, because they'll always describe it in the most exaggerated, extreme view that poorly misrepresents the fandom in any possible way. I hate it. Furry-Problems, number 43. People who people who don't let you explain that it isn't about, about sex. True. This happens a lot. I have dabbled in it before. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not. Again, we're a very open place, but yes, there is more to the fandom than reproduction. Yeah, very true. Furry-Problems, number 44. People who think you need to have a fursuit to be known or popular in the fandom. Okay, when I was young, I had this mentality like 100%, and I still kind of do. It's hard to kind of get that out of you, like that mentality, because you can be famous without a fursuit. You can have a fursuit and not be well known, but it's disproportionately people who do. Or you're like an artist or something. But yes, this is a very relatable furry problem. Sorry. Furball. But yes. This hits way too close to home. Furry-Problems, number 45. Trying to get a tail locally without getting one shipped from overseas. Okay. It's very hard to find a good one that's local. And I'm saying this because I have bought a couple in my lifetime. A couple from the mall. They're pretty generic. If you want a decent one, try to find one domestically. It's going to be very hard to find one local unless you're like in a few cities. So just a heads up. This is, way too true. Furry-Problems, number 46. Long distance relationships. Yes. If you've seen my past episodes, yeah. I don't need to say anymore. Furry-Problems, number 47. Thinking we only want to yiff, and that is a very old word. I've not heard that out loud in like 5 years. Holy cow. Yeah, that basically goes back to an earlier when we just saw about fox mitosis, yes. Furry-Problems, number 48. Crappy your character here auctions and get out of control. I never really got into your YCH auctions just because because I always felt like they get out of control. Furry-Problem, number 48. Finding a furry who seems decent enough to befriend, but in the end they turn out to be one of those attention-seeking cosplayers that just sees it as another fandom to join. Maybe this sounds very specific. I know maybe like one person in my life who probably did this like once. But overall, no, I don't really see this being a problem. Furry-Problems, number 49. Enormous fursuit heads. I like how it's one word. Yes, they are pretty big. And they're either way too big or way too small. Usually, though, they're way too big, if I'm being honest with you. Alright, Furry-Problem 50. Sitting on Furry-Problems Tumblr, going through your entire life searching after flaws in the furry fandom to submit into their ask box. Yeah, basically. This was true back when I actually did scroll through the blog back in its heyday. Yes, that was way too true. Furry-Problems, number 52. People assuming that all you do is look at you because you're a furry. No comment. Furry problems number 54. Endlessly whining about the problems in the fandom instead of working on the solutions to them. Yes. Con registration lines? Problems since the beginning of time. I guess discrimination has always been a problem since the beginning of time, unfortunately. Drama every day. Sometimes it's dumb, sometimes it is. Reputation's always one of those, like, teetering issues. Yes. So we do have those problems. Furry problems number 58. Your friend doesn't know what a furry is when you tell them, and they search Google Images and find what's on their first thing. I hate this because okay, if you ask me what a furry is, I'm going to suck explaining it. So I have to go on Google, and then Google often doesn't like it can give a neutral definition, but you obviously want like a more polite definition, a more forgiving one, and I usually suck in that category. Furry problems number 59. This is probably rated 18 plus. The full body cheesy leopard print spandex suits of gimpy cat ears and a thin scrap tail. Okay. Listen, we're not here to judge you, but I think what they mean is a lot of people just think of this first instead of like the high quality several $1,000 fursuits first. So I kind of get what they're saying. Furry problems number 60. Opening commissions in hopes of drawing something unique. All clients of canine personas. Okay, so I feel very called out, but second, I understand at the time people just wanted more, like, I guess, originality in species. I understand that a lot of people feel like it's very common to have a canine persona, so I get what they're trying to say. No judgment here. This is just a very judgmental problem. Furry problems number 61. Finding out there is a meet in your area. Too shy to just go. Yes, although in my case I was too young, so that was my problem. Furry problems number 63. Person says they want a commission from you, never contacts you about it. Yes. Actually, I don't really get commissions, so because I don't draw and I don't ask for commissions either. I did ask once and it never happened because I was the idiot requesting free art back in the day. I'm sorry. Furry problems number 65. Losing business because you don't accept NSFW commissions. Okay, this is true mainly for younger artists who are new and just want some innocent stuff first, so I kind of get what they mean. Furry problems number 66. Losing watchers' clients if you do NSFW art. Yes, that's also true. Furry problems numbers. Nice. It's the meme number. I skipped 60. Okay. Want to get fursuit really bad. Realize that if you do, everyone you know who didn't know you were a fur will find out eventually. Okay. Yeah, I wanted this problem actually because I said before when I graduated high school I wanted to graduate in like a super expensive fursuit. Unfortunately, that never happened. Furry problems number 70. Get fursuit. Want to show your friends and family? They don't think it's nearly as exciting as you do or look down on you for it. I have known people who have had this problem. It sucks. Furry problems number 71. Being torn between being in the closet and just plain not giving a damn who knows. Yes. Okay, this was basically high school for me. That's basically, and probably middle school too. Yeah, this is the furry experience. And I do feel called out. Furry problems number 72. When you have ideas for drawing but no motivation in the least. I don't draw, but I have drawn. Yes. Furry problems number 73. Not having a furry significant other. Okay, true, but that's why you gotta lure him in. That was a joke. Mostly. Furry problem number 75. Turning up for a local fur meet and chickening out as soon as you see the other furs. Well, okay, maybe back then, yeah, but now I can't because coronavirus. Yeah, if you go to meet at all now, you're probably getting in more trouble, so. Furry problem number 76. Having enough to make a fursuit. Sorry, have enough to make a fursuit, and you really want to make one, but you lack the private area to make it in. Okay. Yes, but this just depends how judgmental the people around you are. But yes, I could see this being a problem. Furry problem number 77. Once you begin to make your fursuit head, there is always a risk of your friends seeing your project, so you're very secretive about the whole thing. Okay. This really depends where you are. Is this like a college dorm? Is this like your parents' house? Like, where are you, bro? Yes. Furry problem number 78. Trying to make your persona stand out, but it turns into a sparkle dog instead. Okay. I get it. They're the butt of the joke a lot, but there's nothing wrong with having a sparkle dog persona. Some of these are really dated because you don't hear these words anymore in the fandom, really. This is like mostly dead. Furry problem number 79. Wanting so badly to wear your tail in school or any public place but not having the courage to do so. I'm sorry, I will never relate to this because I will gladly wear it. I just don't want it getting pulled. Furry problem 80. When you send for a note for a commission and then you realize that they're at a con and even when they're supposed to be back, they don't check their FA. Way too specific, but I feel like this has happened to friends of mine, so yes. Furry problem number 81. Clingy, creepy furries. That's true everywhere, but yes. Furry problem number 82. Furries who need to roleplay every second while you try to hold any conversation. Don't worry, they usually grow out of this when they're like 15, so you should be fine. Furry problem number 83. Furries, quote unquote, who have tendency to make hundreds and thousands of friends and then spam them with nasty stuff. Okay, I knew a couple people like that. It does get annoying. Furry problem number 84. Trying to explain the large packages containing furry gear that keep arriving to the other people living with you. Okay. Not relatable because a true friend does not check your mail. Like, are they going through it? That's why you open it. Okay. If they don't, but they're going to judge you, open it in secret. Furry problem number 86. Having no artistic writing or musical capabilities to give to the fandom. This doesn't hit too close to home. This just hit my house. Furry problem number 87. People immediately calling you a slut for giving you hate just because your persona is a fox. Okay. I disavow any foxphobia in this YouTube. Anybody who is foxphobic is not welcome here. Furry problem number 89. That feel when shaving a fursuit and fur gets in your mouth. Ew. Furry problems 90. Wanting to go to your first furry convention but worry the photos of you will get back to your friends or family via someone else's social media posts. Okay, this is why you gotta separate your personal life with your furry life if you know that it's going to get you in trouble. This is okay. Some of these feel really old because I feel like now furry's starting to be like more accepted, kinda. Furry problem 100. Being unable to share your love for the fandom with your non-furry significant other for fear of seeming creepy, especially when they already dislike it. My advice? Break up. That's a joke. Furry problem 102. Being a fursuit maker working at a craft store. Actually, no. That's not a problem. Is it? Furry problem 103. Not being able to look forward to Monday after Jay Naylor updates his comic early. Actually, I usually just kind of went through the old ones, but yeah, I could see that being a problem. Not being able to... A furry problem number 104. Not being able to draw anything else. Yeah. I could... Yeah, actually, yeah. I was guilty of that too, when I had a short drawing phase. Furry problem number 105. Faving something from 2 years ago. This is basically like when you're going through, like... Let's say you're stalking somebody in social media. Hypothetically. And then you like one of their posts from, 2017, and it's, 2020, and you're like, oh, shoot. Same embarrassment. Furry problems number 109. Losing followers because you start drawing furry art versus your usual anime human drawings. If a normie does this, they're not worth your time. Furry problem number 112. Wanting a fursuit, but realizing you'd have no one to go around in fursuit with. This is why you gotta separate your personal life with your furry life if you know that it's gonna get you in trouble. This is okay. Some of these feel really old because I feel like now furry's starting to be like more accepted, kinda. Furry problem number 113. Not being able to Oh shoot, I actually didn't think about that. That's actually a problem. Ugh. Well, hopefully you find some. Furry problem number 113. Thinking everything's going well when making your versuit until you start the head. Yeah, the head's usually the hardest part, from what I hear. Furry problem number 114. Getting fur in your contacts after taking your suit head off. Okay. This is why I prefer glasses. Personally. Furry problem number 115. Dealing with all the drama in the fandom. That kind of goes without saying. Furry problem number 116. Furries that have no concept of personal space. Yeah, that was me. Furry problem number 117. Having fur porn set as the pic for Tumblr on Google Chrome. You know, like the preview pics on the homepage? Yes. This is why you don't check for affinity at school. Just saying. Furry problems number 118. Looking for critiques on a suit that you're feeling okay with, and then commenters coming down so hard on a small thing that it makes you doubt yourself as a fursuit maker. Okay, this just feels like people being too harsh. Furry problem number 119. Furries who recolor. Actually, yes, I did know artists who did that, and you suck if you do that. If you just recolor, like, a really good Sona and claim it as yours, that's like... That... Don't. Please don't do that. Furry problem number 123. Having your mother tell people about that episode of CSI to explain what a furry is to her friends when she makes a comment about your art. That's way too specific, and if it does happen to you, F's in the chat. Furry problem number 126. Not being able to find another straight fur of the opposite gender or acceptable age. Okay, first of all, we're a fandom. We're not Tinder, okay? Furry problem number 128. Getting hot glue stuck on fur where it shouldn't be. Yes. Furry problem number 131. Being a furry and being in high school. Your main problem is actually being stuck in high school. Furry problem number 132. Okay, ignore the comment from FurCulture, but trying to be accepted while having an awkward fetish for baby macro. Okay. This... Listen, they usually accept you. Okay? This isn't really like an issue unless you have like really vanilla friends. Sorry, furball. And let's be honest, they usually aren't. Furry problem number 135. Tuyif or not Tuyif? That is the question. William Shakespeare. True! Furry problem number 137. Wanting to go to a convention near your area, but knowing that you're still young and nobody wants a teenager at their con. Okay, this is old because I feel like now the tables are turning and they're perfectly okay as long as you're in the right spaces. But yeah, honestly, if you want to go to your first con, do it at like... In my opinion, I mean, obviously, you do you. You can go at any age as long as the con's like accepting, but I'd say 16 is actually a good starting point because that's when you're like starting to like truly get to know people. Furry problem number 138. The fat basement dweller stereotype of furries. That's true of any subculture of any community, so no. Furry problem number 139. Dealing with extreme freakout when you tell your friend you're a furry and then trying to explain in between their screaming. This just feels like middle school. Yeah, that's basically middle school. Furry problem 140. Telling people you're a brony and they just nod, and then telling them you're a furry and they just scream and run away. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a bigger problem here than you being a furry if they're running away. Furry problem number 141. Getting way too used to the other meaning of not and hearing things the wrong way. God damn it, even I'm guilty of that. Furry problem 142. The moment when you're even scared of your own furry community because one of your mascot's personas is okay. This isn't okay. The problem here is HERM and people just spit all over you and think you're slutty. Okay. The problem here is there are negative connotations to certain issues. We don't use that language anymore because it's not 2015. People just, yeah. So I understand the issue here. Okay, these are products of their time. I get it. Yeah, spit all over your teacher. Yeah, so I could understand why this is a problem. Furry problem 144, being told you can't be a straight fur. Okay, that's really specific. I hope that actually does not happen, at least now. Furry problem 145, liking a furry comic, recommending the comic to friends, but then your friends refuse to read it because there's furries in the comic. Okay, this was true when I read Prodigal Angel. Very true. Nobody wanted to read it because it was furries. Furry problem number 146, being a female furry who's interested in women. I don't. Oh, I get it, because it's mostly men who want to hit on you. Okay, I get it. Furry problem 147. Oh, you're making a costume? You should totally make me one for Halloween so I don't have to buy one. You know what? I'm gonna be real with y'all. If somebody does this, just make them a fursuit. Like, you know what? You're a furry now. There's no going back. Nice try. Furry problem number 148. Wanting to wear your fursuit in public, but your mother won't let you. Okay, this is probably only true to like to like the TikTok community. Sorry, I'm just making fun of y'all. Half of y'all are 12 anyway. Furry problem number 152. Having friends take bets on what leather you're getting from Lagarta. Okay, we're moving on. Furry problems number 153. Being told to hide your color so people don't get the wrong idea. I'm gonna call out Neon Woof right now because I know he does not do this. I'm not into colors personally, but I get what they're trying to say. Furry problem 154. Being told that feeling when you can feel the wind on your muzzle and your ears fall back and then you realize they aren't really there. I'm gonna cry because this is why Therians exist and other kin. Furry problem number 155. The idiot in the store who has to be extra loud when announcing, "Look, that guy has a tail." That's actually very true. I've done this like maybe once or twice. I've gone to the store in it. Furry problem 156. Wearing your fursuit in public and half the people who see it treating you as if you're exposing yourself to the children. Okay, Karen. Only Karens stop their kids. Furry problem 157. Trying to tell your friends that you're a furry and either they hate you for it or are extremely confused. True. Furry problem 158. Pokemon season. Yes. Although they usually overlap, so. Furry problem 159. That moment when a fursuit fail block reblogs your head, but it's actually well made and they just reblogged it because they hate toonie suits. Man, this is old. Holy cow. This is dated, bro. I can carbon date that. Furry problem 160. There's no, like, furry cringe culture died in, like, 2017. Let's be real here. Furry problem 160. Wanting to work on fursuits, but not being able to work, not being able to because you're not with the person to test fitting. Okay. Duct tape. Duct tape dummies. That's all I'm gonna say. Furry problem 161. When your persona is mistaken for a new Pokemon. That's actually, I've seen this a few times. It sucks. Furry problem 162. Not being able to wait for Halloween because you can finally wear some of your furry gear without people laughing at you. Listen, bro. They're still gonna laugh at you. Furry problem number 164. Wishing you were in actually a furry in real life. Yes, that's. Honestly, all furries have a TF interest. All of them, by default. That's just part. When you sign the contract to sell your soul, that it's in the contract. Furry problem 165. Buying a crap ton of furs during October because nobody suspects anything. I don't know how many fursuit makers are watching this, but yes. Furry problem 166. Getting caught reading a furry webcomic in class and getting teased for days. No, because I read mine in private. Although I have had some embarrassing fursuit pics that were kind of Murray Purry get leaked because I lost my phone Okay, so here's the story. I lost my phone in school like 5, 6 years ago, and I guess somebody found it, and it had the embarrassing pics of it, and I guess they managed to like spread it across my grade or something. But yeah, that's another story for another day. Furry problem 167. When people say, "What does the fox say?" and think that all furries dance around like that. No, furries can dance. Like 20% of them. Furry problem 168. The moment when someone steps on your tail and thinks it's funny. True, or they pull it. Furry problem 169. Nice. Typing in fox in any type of search bar, whether it's DeviantArt or a shopping site, and getting fox racing results. Yes. Furry problem 170. Convincing people that your tail is not a toy. Pro tip. Um, they always think it is, unfortunately. Furry problem 171. Having to be told to take off your collar, or else you can't. Dear God, you can't go out to dinner with your family. I'm gonna call out Neon Woof again. I'm kidding, but yeah. Furry problem 173. Being told to be a real furry, you have to be into YIF. No, no, you don't. I agree with you there. FurCulture. Furry problem 175. Being told you aren't a real furry because you don't draw. Okay, you don't draw YIF. Please stop. Please stop. If you do this, please stop. Furry problem 176. When people immediately think being a furry. Okay, yeah, it isn't about bestiality. I'm sorry. Furry problem 177. When you can't find a tail maker with the right colors. Agreed. Furry problem 178. Trying to play a game of D&D and every furry wants to be some kind of were creature. Yes, I'm sorry, but your animal's not original when you play D&D, okay? We all know your intentions. You're a furry. Furry problem 179. Wearing your tail in public and having teenage girls laugh at you. You see, I'm inclusive because I have teenagers of all genders laugh at me. Furry problem 180. When you're mistaken for a brony. This is old because the fandom died like 2 years ago. So, furry problem 181. Wanting to have one persona but not being able to stick with one because you're creating new ones constantly. You see, the loophole here is this is why you say you're a shapeshifter. Problem solved. Furry problem 182. Feeling like a high school mascot when you're wearing a fursuit. Yes. And you're mascotting yourself. Furry problem 184. Asking for no creepy comments on an adult picture gets 30 comments complaining that their speech is being restricted. Ah, yes, the Freeze Peach Warriors. Yes. Furry problem 186. Trying to find cool furry art SFW and YIF turning up instead. Okay, yes, even with the filters, I swear, the filters do not work. You'll always find something here and there. Furry problem 187. Feeling like Halloween's the only acceptable time to wear anything furry. Tails, fursuits, whatnot. Yes, I completely agree. Halloween's like the only day, although they still laugh at you, so. Furry problem 188. Never being able to find your one true furry love. Damn. I feel called out. Furry problem 192. Having really cold hands after taking off your paws. Okay. This actually no. In the winter, it actually really helps. Like legit. Like furry stuff keeps you warm. Unironically, in the winter, I'd actually recommend it. Speaking of which, I think in China they actually have like people wear like the heads that look like fursuits suspiciously because they say it like really helps. So have fun knowing that. Furry problem 193. People saying you only wanted dust in Elysian Tale because the characters are anthro. That's true for any media, let's be honest. Furry problem 194. Having a friend say they're worried about you being a furry. They're usually very Christian, in my opinion. Furry problem 195. Being told it's furs like you that make us all look like animal. Oh, okay. That's animal effing freaks for being a mature adult who respectfully enjoys the sexual part of the fandom. Yes. That's me actually now. Furry problem. This is just a repeat. 196. Wanting to be your Sona. Yes. Furry Problem 198, people hitting on your persona. Okay, if you have a female profile pic or avatar, they're gonna hit on you. And I'm speaking from experience on both ends. Furry Problem 200, not being able to attend conventions or work on your first fursuit because you need your money for important things like bills, preparing to move out, food, etc. I actually make fun of furries a lot because I feel like they don't know how to finance because usually the fursuit comes first. Furry Problem 201, wearing a tail and forgetting it's on you. Forgetting it's on you, then finding out while walking around in a store for an hour that you've been wearing it the whole time. I've had this problem at school in the past, so I can relate. Furry Problem 202, always having your crotch grabbed when you're in a male suit, even though you're a female. Oh god, I'm not a female, but yeah, if you touch anybody inappropriately without their consent, you're a creep. I'm sorry. Never do that. Furry Problem 203. When fursuiting, deciding whether to either talk or be a silent fur and communicate through your suit handler. This is how I know I'm old. I remember a time when silent suiting was like completely the norm. Like, I feel old now. Damn. Furry Problem 204. Trying to sit down in a car with your tail on. Yes. Or any chair, to be honest. Furry Problem 205. So tired at a con you lean up against a wall and slide to the floor, tearing your favorite tail off. F's in the chat. Furry Problem 206. That moment, the curious bystander who asks why when you answer furry, they are even more confused and ask, what's a furry? Yes. People always ask questions, and I suck at answering them. Furry Problem 207. When someone says all furries are the same, if you say this, why? Furry Problem 209. Being brand new into the fandom and not knowing how to meet people. True. Although, I'd highly recommend Kik back in the day. Now, Telegram. Just be in the right chats. Furry Problem 211, when all people want to do is EFRP. Yes, or ERP is what we say now. Furry Problem 213, what does the fox say? Fox? Holds up tail? Does this even look like a fox to you? It's white, it has spots. I put spikes on it. Do you even know your animals? Yes. I should do this just to piss people off. If you're a species elitist, why? I say as I am one. Furry Problems 214. No one in this fandom believing you when you say you're a lesbian. Okay, if you're a guy and you do this, I hate you. And if you're a woman and you do this, well, I don't even know what to say at this point. Furry Problem 215. The way the media treats the fandom. Yes. I think that's enough problems for one day. Furry Problem 218, the last one we're going to do for today. When another furry tries to one-up you when it comes to personas. True! I've had friends like that. Anyway, I think that's enough to conclude for today's episode of your favorite Foxy Fail Son on the Fox's Corner. I think that's enough for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, don't feel free to go in the comment section down below. Don't forget to try to go on our social medias, which includes our Instagram, our Twitter. Don't forget we are also now on Anchor FM, so don't forget to look us through there. And also, don't forget, I do have a SoundCloud for this podcast as well. And if you can, don't forget our Patreon over at the Fox's Corner. And don't forget our new subreddit, OkBuddyBryFox, where I will be reviewing any submissions. And I will be making videos of that soon. So, I am now signing out, and have a great week. Bryfoxy out.